so much for being here. My name is Brianne and welcome to my channel. I am here today to show you how to get this mermaid inspired look, and if you would like to know how I achieve this, then just keep on watching. Okay, before we jump in on this tutorial, I just want to let you know that I am working with a new computer, a new system here, and I know my audio isn't quite right. We're having some issues with that, so I'm going to work on it, but I wanted to get this video up for you guys as soon as possible, so just bear with me while I try to get that worked out. So for this tutorial, the first thing I did, as you saw, was contour my nose just to change the shape of it a little. I decided I wanted to go with kind of purples, pinks, and blues for this look. So I contoured the sides of my nose, and I did my perimeter of my face, so my forehead, and I also did my cheekbones. And I am using a purple color from the Take Me to Brazil palette from BH Cosmetics. Those eyeshadows work really, really well. They're perfect for Halloween tutorials because they have so many different colors and they blend really, really well. You can see that I did use a pink eyeshadow color for the blush, but I wish I had actually used the neon green on my cheeks instead of the pink, because we see pink all the time as a normal color, and I think visually it would have looked better if I had done the green on the cheeks. Of course, use whatever colors you want to do. That's just something I realized when I was watching my videos back. So I did the purple on the sides of the face, on the forehead, and on the temples I did some blue. And now I'm going in with a very light blue on the inner corners of my eyes where the crease is. And then I'm adding some neon green to the outer portion of my crease. And this is still all from the Take Me to Brazil palette. And next I am going to go in with that same purple color on an eyebrow brush. And I'm going to just map out where I want my brows. I'm basically following the shape that is there, and I'm starting with a lighter purple color because I kind of didn't know what direction I wanted to go right away. So starting light is always a good option because you can always build up to something darker. So I started with the light purple. It's the same light purple we've been using. Here is where I transition into a darker purple, and I decided to change the shape of my brows a little bit just to make it more interesting again. I went back in with that same light blue color that I had used on my eyes, and I'm just building up the color. If you work in layers with blending and building up your color, it tends to just look the best in my opinion. So I jumped back to my eyes and decided to bring some of that blue down on my eyelid on the inner part of my eye, and I also did touch up the green as well. I decided to go back in with that same light purple color. It does have a bit of a shimmer to it, not a lot. And I am going around my jawline here just to add some shadows, and I'm bringing that down the neck. To mix it up a little bit, I decided to take some of the pink color and put it in kind of the hollows. If you raise up your shoulders, you get those little sunken in parts, and that's where I added the pink and started blending it upward towards the purple. And then again, I went back in with the purple and I blended the purple down into the pink. Kind of hard to see here, but I took a different palette from BH Cosmetics. It's their foiled eyeshadow palette. Everything in there is foiled and shimmery. And I'm rubbing that all over my shoulders and my chest. I started with a shimmery purple color, as you can see, because I wanted the skin to look wet and reflective since it's a mermaid and it's underwater. I did add some blue in, as you can see. This is all from that foiled eyeshadow palette. I brought that blue up to my temples, and I'm blending that around the perimeter of my face. And then I picked up some of the purple, and I'm going over the purple that was already there. Then I decided to pick up kind of like a tealy green color. It's very light, and blend that right above my brow. And then I'm going to pick up a silvery color and put that in the middle of my forehead. As I had added more colors to my forehead, I realized that the shading in my cheekbone area needed to be deeper, so I went in with a darker purple from the Take Me to Brazil palette just to deepen it. And then here I jumped back over to the foiled palette and took a peachy color and put that all over my cheeks. I took a silver and I put that under the arches of my brow. And then I went back to the kind of purpley, well, I think I actually took the silver here and put that on my chin first, because I realized when I would look at myself in my viewfinder, I had all this color on my forehead, which I thought was beautiful, and then the bottom of my face just looked a little too boring. So I decided to start building up the color on my chin and jawline. I'll go back to that in just a minute. What I did just a second ago was add a little bit of silver down the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose just to make it shiny. And here is where I'm adding more purples to my jawline just to add some more color down there, just to balance out the color on my face. I decided to add some blue into my contour there just to add some more depth. And I thought that my cheeks got a little too pale, so I went in with a little bit more of the pink. And again, I realized I needed more depth there under my jawline, so I took a darker purple color from the Take Me to Brazil palette, and I started blending that around my jawline and down my neck a little bit just to add more of a shadow. I decided right under the hollows of my cheeks to add a little bit of a sparkly yellow just to add a little something extra to brighten it a little bit and add a little bit more color. And then I dipped into the shimmery blue color and put that around the perimeter of my jaw and kind of where my ear is, right in front of my temple. Okay, so here I decided to take a liquid lipstick that I had. I believe it is a colored rain lipstick called Rockstar. And in the tube it looked more blue, but as I started painting it on, I realized it was more purple than I thought it was going to be. So I decided to just go ahead and put a little bit of that on each eye, but since it was purple, I realized I had a liquid eyeliner that was purple and glittery. So right here, that's where I switched to that. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my eyeliner here. So I started with like a small wing and very quickly made it into a big long wing. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just kind of deciding on the spot. You totally do not have to do something this dramatic. I think it would have looked really good to keep it a little softer around the eyes, but once I started, I had already committed, so I went with it. And don't worry about that little splotch over my one eye. That's going to be covered with some glitter, so I just left that there. I took a teal liquid eyeliner from the same brand, I believe it was Maybelline, and put that underneath the outer wing of my eyeliner, and then used it to create a new inner corner for my eye to make it appear a little bit bigger. And I did bring that liquid liner all the way across the bottom lash line. I will also put a silver shimmery shadow right in the inner corner as well to brighten that up a touch. And then I'll take a teal loose pigment from NYX and tap that along my temples just to brighten that up a little bit as well. I then will take a teal eyeshadow from the Take Me to Brazil palette just to blend that along the bottom lash line. And I did decide to bring that neon green down onto my lid just a little bit more. Next is glitter. This is a NYX loose glitter that's kind of a light pink, and I used the lit glitter glue to add that glitter onto my eyelid. And next comes the fun part. Those are some sequins that I got from Michaels. I decided to stick with just 2 colors because I wasn't sure if it was going to be too much to have multiple colors. Now I kind of wish I had gotten several other colors as well, but I decided to go with an iridescent one and a kind of a purpley blue, and in the packs it comes with 3 different sizes. Now I'm using Kiss lash glue right now to glue on these sequins on my chin. Where that glob of white is, there's actually iridescent sequins on top of that, but because they're kind of translucent, you can see the glue underneath, but once that dries clear, you'll be able to see the sequin a little bit better. On my chin, I started by doing
a couple rows of the translucent iridescent, and then a couple rows of the bluey purple, and then switch back and forth. I ended up not liking the stripy look, so later on I ended up going back in and kind of breaking up the stripes by gluing other shades on top of them of the opposite color to help blend that out a little bit. And I did jump from my chin up to my forehead and then back to my chin while doing this, just to try to let that glue dry some. It's messy work, you guys. It's really hard. It took me for hours. It took me like literally 3.5 or 4 hours to film this whole look, just because the glue would get on your fingers, and then the sequins would fall and stick to your fingers and wouldn't come off, or they'd slip around too much. So it's really tedious. So please keep that in mind. Give yourself a lot of time if you're going to do this. I did use the end of a makeup brush to kind of help pick up the sequins, especially the little ones, and put them on, and then to tap them on so that the glue wouldn't get all over my fingers. On the center of the forehead here, I started with the purpley blue ones and got about 3 rows of the purpley blue, and then as you can see, I started going from the purple to the clear to the purple to the clear to help break it up a bit, and I ended up really loving how that looked. And as I got further away from the center of my face, I used the larger sequins, and those are much easier to glue on. You can see here, I'm just trying to add some more scales closer to the temples of my forehead. I just want to make it look interesting up there. I will say, in my original plan, I wanted to do so many more scales on my face, but it just took so long, and it was so tedious that I couldn't do it. So I tried to make sure that what I did looked very visually interesting, and I'm hoping maybe sometime in the future I'll try to give this look a go, make it a little different of course, and see if I can get more scales on there and see how that goes. I think if you want to have more scales, maybe forget the small ones and just use big, really big sequins, and you'll be able to get cover more ground a lot faster. I did decide to put some sequins around my eyes, and instead of using the lash glue, this is where I decided to go ahead and try using the glitter glue from Lit that I had, because I thought that, well, I just wanted to see if it would work, and it was working for me. So I got an idea, you'll see here in a minute, where I use the small iridescent ones and I put them on my face like little freckles, and I wanted to use the clear glitter glue because you can see with the normal white glue that it takes a really long time to dry, and it just looks like white blobs for a while, and I did not want that on my cheeks. So I did use the Lit glitter glue to put those little freckly bits on my cheeks, which will come up in just a minute. I will say the lash glue held much, much better than the Lit glue did. I'm glad the Lit glue worked for those freckles, but if I'd had more time and I knew that I had time to allow the lash glue to dry, I would have just used the lash glue because it holds so much better than the Lit glitter glue does. The glitter glue is perfect for glitter, but not so much for the sequins. And here is where you can see I'm doing my little freckles. I did spritz my face with a bit of a setting spray, and you can see I put some scales on my shoulders, just the iridescent ones, and I brought that down my neck just a little bit, but because you move your chin a lot, I did have to leave some gaps so that they wouldn't fall off. While that setting spray was drying, I did add a little bit more highlighter to the center of my face, and I am taking a peach shimmery color from the foiled eyeshadow palette and putting that on my lips. And then I'll be getting a purpley color and putting that more on the inside of my lips and just gradually darkening that up a little bit. I went ahead ahead and added some lashes. These are by Ardell and they are purple colored, which is kind of fun. If you're not very good at lashes, maybe try letting that glue dry for about 30 seconds before putting them on your lash line. They'll stick so much better. I added some of that neon green on my bottom lash line as well. And then all I have to do is add a fun wig. I will be adding a purple wig by Trendy Wigs. It's right here. They've got some great options and generally they've got some pretty good prices. I believe I do still have a discount code. If so, I will leave that in the description box below. But I want to thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to give this video a like if you found it useful or if you like the look. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.